Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to some more beginning of the end times. Today I have a glorious scenario for you guys using the new Warhammer 2 factions. We have a Dark Elf D-Day invasion as the Lizardmen have to try and protect their holy sites from this Dark Elf raid. So it should be a really fun battle. This is a 2 vs 2 scenario as well, and it took me a little while to get people to actually play it, so it was really awesome when a few of the guys on the Discord who came over and were like, yeah, we're up to play it, which was absolutely awesome because it is kind of hard to get these scenarios. This is obviously a pre-release build of the actual mod itself, so it's kind of hard to actually, as I said, find people to play these games. So I was just really appreciative of when the guys did say that they wanted to play this, allowing me to get a brilliant replay. A few of them are also YouTubers as well, so make sure to go check out their channel. I'll leave the links to their channel in the description. They do obviously lots of beginning of the end time stuff. So today, as I mentioned, we have kind of like a D-Day invasion from the Dark Elves as they try and push up this hill, I guess, to raid the temples of the Lizardmen. So what we'll do is we'll run through the actual scenario, then we'll run through the army comps, and then we'll get started. If you want to skip straight to the army comps, I'll leave a skip to battle timestamp in the description. Just open that up, find the skip to battle timestamp, and then just click that, and that should take you straight to the actual battle itself. So the rules of this scenario, there weren't really too many of them. It was just the Dark Elves obviously had to attack up the hill in a relenting attack. The Lizardmen armies, however, had to kind of stay stationary. They were allowed to really move a little bit in their deployment. However, they had to kind of, the first Lizardmen army had to defend this outer defense right here. And then the second Lizardmen army, which is the one I'm commanding, had to defend this upper layer. So I wasn't allowed to push down and support my defending ally down there. I had to kind of wait for him to fall back, and then we had to defend this. So it's kind of like a staged defense as well, which would be really cool and make for an interesting battle. So let's run through the army comps really quickly. On the front lines, we have some skink archers in the first Lizardmen army. These are going to be a great skirmishing force if we can keep them protected. And as we make our way back, we have some Sauruses. These are like our standard heavy infantry. These dudes pack a punch, and I can't wait to see them in Warhammer 2. Oh, also, I should mention as well, actually, I'll leave that until we actually start the battle itself, because I imagine some people would have skipped to battle already. Then we have some sort of Scar veterans. These are light cavalry, however, they do still look pretty impressive. They're riding Cold Ones? Is that what the mount is called? I think I'm right in saying that, because I know that's what the Dark Elves are riding. They're called Cold One Riders. So I'm not sure if they're just riding. I think they actually, no, I think these guys are just riding their dinosaurs, as the Lizardmen do. Dinosaurs riding dinosaurs, right? Then as we go back, we have some Saurus Spears. These guys are obviously good anti-cavalry forces. As we continue on the first Lizardmen army, we have some of these Stegodons. These have skirmishers on top, so they're going to be a nice harassment force, but they're obviously also heavily armored and can just disintegrate enemy infantry. Then we have some Temple Guard. I believe this is the general unit for the first Lizardmen army, and obviously they look great. Then as we keep on going, we have some more Temple Guard. We actually have some Skink Priests, which are going to be shooting out their magic spells, hopefully doing plenty of damage and burning them. And look at these Skinks. These Skinks look awesome. The models on this mod are really impressive considering how old Medieval 2 is. Some of the stuff is just amazing. Then we go over, we have some Croxagors. These Croxagors are insane. They are so strong. They're huge weapons, and they're just going to demolish anything in their path. Then finally, we have some Cold One cavalry. So maybe these are Cold Ones right here. They look kind of similar to the previous dinosaur unit, but I guess these guys have some pretty nice clubs to do loads of damage. Make our way back to my army. I have 2 units of Skink cohorts. These like skirmisher infantry. Then I have some Lizardmen, or some Sauruses. Sorry, yeah, well they are. I'm not wrong. They are Lizardmen. But I have 3 units of Sauruses along with a unit of Saurus Spears back here to help protect this left flank. I have the Temple Guard. I have a unit of Chameleon Skinks. These guys are really good missile units. They kind of shoot out the blowpipe and harass enemies at a pretty decent range. Then we have a Slan Mage Priest. You guys did let me know that the Slan are actually just a race. They're not actually a guy. I thought personally in my previous one that this was just like a one dude. This was like the leader of the Lizardmen. But you guys quickly corrected me. And I mean, the model just looks amazing. It really does. Like that just, I still can't get over how spectacular that model looks. As we continue on down my line, I have some Temple Guard, along with some Croxagors and myself, and some Saurus Scar veterans. That is the Lizardmen army in a nutshell. It's pretty strong. I feel like we have a slightly balanced power. However, the Cold One cavalry for the Dark Elves are insane, and they have some mages of themselves. So on the Dark Elf army, we have some bleak swords, which are heavy infantry. Behind them, we have some repeater crossbows. Or are these? Yeah, these are just behind them. Oh, we know we have some dark shades right here, and I think they're using repeater crossbows, which should be very deadly. Then we have some harpies, which are light infantry. We keep on making our way back. We have some more bleak swords, along with some assassins, or some shades, sorry. They have crossbows, and I guess they have a pretty nice sword as well. So lots of missile from the Dark Elves. They're going to be a very skirmish-heavy army, but they also have this really good elite infantry as well. Then we have some Dread Spears. These guys look pretty potent. They're going to be vital in killing my Croxagors. We have some more Bleak Swords back there. We have some Dark Shades. Again, we keep on moving back. I'm trying to find more of the unique units as well. Here we go. This is the elite heavy cavalry, the Cold One Knights. These dudes are so heavily armored. I mean, just look at them. They are ready for business. And if they get some good rear charges off, that's going to just demolish everything in their path. We have some Harganif Executioners. I believe that's how I pronounce it, but I apologize if I butchered it. Just two-handed greatsword infantry. Definitely brutal. We keep on going back. We have some more, some Blackguard, which are like pike infantry. This is like I guess this is like the Phoenix Guard equivalent for the High Elves, but this is for the Dark Elves. Keep on going. Oh, I have 3 units of this Blackguard. That's going to be very, very dangerous for us. We keep going with some more Cold One cavalry, some more Blackguard cavalry. Oh my god. We have some Black Arc Coursiers. These guys look like an Eldar unit from 40k. Then we have a Cauldron of Blood. I assume this Cauldron is going to be buffing up the soldiers. Oh, is that a human heart right there? Or is that just some flesh? Oh, look at that pit right there. That is disgusting. That looks awesome nonetheless. And I believe that is pretty much all the enemy infantry. We'll kind of, as the Dark Elves keep on advancing, we'll just look at the rest of their forces really quickly. They have some more Dread Spears here. Some more dark, like they have a lot of crossbows, whereas the Lizardmen don't really have too much missile force, which is unfortunate. They also have these Dark Riders as well, which are like a skirmisher bow cavalry. So I think in Warhammer 2, the cavalry is going to be really, really important for the Dark Elves. It's a real heavy skirmisher force, but they can still deal a pretty nice blow in the infantry line as well with their heavy infantry. So it's going to be very interesting to see the Dark Elves actually come into it. But yeah, let's get this battle started. And one of the things I was going to mention is if you guys want to see more of these scenarios, then please do let me know, because these battles are kind of hard to get because it's very hard. There's only a limited amount of people to play these battles. So if you guys do want to see more of these, please do let me know by dropping a like and a comment, and hopefully that will convince a few more people to actually come join up and play these scenarios, because you know I want to be featured in a video and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this, and as I mentioned, just drop a like and a comment, and hopefully that I'll be able to get more of these cool scenario battles, and hopefully people will see that these do really well, and they'll want to obviously make more scenarios for the mod itself. So that'll be really cool. So the battle's going to start off with these skink archers. They're just going to be volleying a few shots off down on the oncoming enemy infantry. I'm just going to be hitting down a few of the enemy missiles, which is good because the Dark Elves, as I mentioned, have a load of missiles. Well, they're actually advancing first with their bleak swords at the moment, and they're going to be getting hit pretty heavily up there. It's actually a really nice firing position that the skink archers have, and they're going to be harassing pretty heavily. I think we've already managed to take down how many? We've already actually almost taken down 10 of these guys, which is pretty decent. Then the skink cohorts are going to be getting out their javelins as well. These guys are awful actually in melee combat, but well, not awful, but they're not going to stand up to some of the heavy infantry of the Dark Elves. But these guys can use their javelins and harass the enemy and then hopefully fall back. However, it does look like the Dark Elves are going to get their vengeance and charge down onto these skinks, and the Dark Elves are just going to rip these guys apart, unfortunately. The poor skinks are going to get destroyed. The Saurus Warriors are going to be running in to fight some of the more Dark Elf heavy infantry. The Sauruses are going to have a good time here, I think, fighting downhill. As long as they are supported by more soldiers, they should do perfectly fine. The entire battle line is starting to erupt. I believe some cavalry engagements have occurred over here, and these Cold One cavalrymen are getting harassed by the Dark Elf crossbows, and they've actually lost a few of these guys, which is really important in the battle, because these Cold Ones are going to be so important to the actual engagement. As you can see, they are just tearing apart, using them Cold Ones to actually just rip apart the skinks there. The Croxagors, however, are going to come flying in, and these Croxagors are so goddamn good. They are one of my favorite units in the Lizardmen roster. I played a ton of Blood Bowl, and whenever I use my Croxagor, it was just amazing. So I can't wait to see what they look like in Warhammer 2, but I think they look great in Warhammer, in battle, beginning of the end times. More Saurus Spears are going to be pushing in. So by the looks of it, the entire engagement has now occurred along the first initial path for the Lizardmen. We've had to commit pretty much the entirety of the first army. There's a few kind of units not really doing much. However, I'm sure they'll be engaged very, very soon. We have some bleak swords, sorry. Bleak wood, I don't know where I got the wood from. We've got some bleak swords up against the Temple Guard. The Temple Guard should be able to win this. The Temple Guard are like the most elite Sauruses. All the elite Sauruses get pushed into the Temple Guard. And I'm still very much learning the lore. I've been watching a few Ark Warhammer videos and Indie Pride videos, so I am still very much learning the lore. However, I think these Skink Priests have been left alone far too long, and these Cold One Knights are going to be going to chase them down after they deal with the Scarf or the Cold One cavalry from the Lizardmen. This is not good. These Skink Priests need to run. They are so useful in the battle. However, these poor Skink Priests are going to be getting run down. I am personally going to be able to get some javelins off with my skink cohorts, which are up here. So these guys are going to be able to throw down some javelins. But again, the cold ones have a pretty nice HP. So even though I'm lowering that down a little bit, these spears aren't going to be taken down. I'm loading a single one of these Cold One Knights, and they just took out the Skink Priest, which is pretty huge if you ask me. The rest of the Knights are just pushing in, fighting the Croxagors. The Croxagors, however, are not going down without a fight, and they are just looking magnificent. A few of them have lost a bit of HP. You can see the blood on a few of them, but overall they're doing great. What are they even up against? They're up against some of the bleak swords and the Dread Spears as well. The Dread Spears sound like such a good unit. That's awesome. If we look on this right-hand side, we haven't really seen too much here. We can see the Temple Guard up against the Black Ark Courtiers. They've obviously gone into melee combat. Oh, they have two swords as well. That's awesome to see. The Executioners as well are about to charge in, I think. A few of the Skinks. Skinks, what are you doing? Run! Don't fight these guys. They are clearly too heavily armored to do it for you guys. The Skinks are actually absorbing a few of the missiles. And we have some Stegodons pushing deep into the enemy line. They are up against the Black Guard, which I imagine will be doing pretty good against these Stegodons, if I'm honest. Because of the pike formation. We're going to be able to keep the Stegodon at a distance and just kind of, you know, poke at it like a pike formation would be able to do. One's already gone down. However, I imagine it has still taken down a few of these soldiers. Maybe it would have been better to kind of, you know, dispatch. Oh my god! I lied. I lied right there. As I mentioned, this is like the second time you're playing this mod, so there's going to be plenty of things I don't know about. That Stegodon just killed like so many of these guys. That is so much value right there. If he can get another hit off, that is just going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think my Slam Priest is shot out as well. I'm not sure if he's going to find any hits down here. However, yeah, I don't think he got any hits, unfortunately. Yeah, but it's really hard. The Slam Priest kind of had a bit of a difficult time up there. Oh, no, the last Stegodon went down. But, I mean, that did a lot of damage to this Black Guard. Or is it Black Guard? Yeah, to the Black Guard, which is pretty good. My lines are starting to get ready to fight in this battle. As you can see, the outer defense for the Lizardmen has been overwhelmed now. The routing troops need to kind of fall back. These Skinks need to kind of push back. The Skink Archers are still getting a few shots off at the Cold Ones, but the Cold Ones are going to be turning around and probably just running them down. That's, you know, normally what they do. You're going to notice now, I guess, the player is looking else. There we go. They turned around, and these Skinks, I want to kind of hover over the Skink. Oh my god, we're going to get enveloped by the Dark Elves. I want to see the numbers of the Skinks just drop here as the Cold Ones come pouring in. Oh my god, look at that number just drop. They've already lost like 40 dudes. The Black Guard comes in. Oh my god. Yeah, these Skinks are going to go bye-bye, and they have to retreat back. So pretty much the entire outer line has been destroyed now. I've had a few minor engagements over here. Oh yeah, something I completely forgot to mention in the intro is I have Pterodon Riders as well in Medieval 2. Medieval 2 never ceases to amaze me. I have these flying Pterodon Riders with Skinks on. That's amazing. Like, Medieval 2 is... Oh, I also forgot to mention that the Dark Elves have dragons as well. How did I forget to mention that in the intro? Well, that's a nice little surprise then, I guess, for you guys. And these pterodactyl riders are going to be just descending upon this unit of cavalry, trying to run them down, because I don't want these dark raiders in the back of my lines shooting their crossbows. So I'm going to be chasing them down with my own cavalry. Where are the dragons? Can I find them anywhere? We should be able to see them flying around at some point. I guess they're kind of still in reserve, maybe, being pushed up. They start off like back here, yeah, so they've already been pushed up somewhere. So we'll try and find the dragons. I'm sure we'll see them at some point in the battles. The Cauldron of Blood gets pushed up as well. The Kroxigors are still fighting pretty heavily up against these Witch Elves of, Witch Elves Khan. And the Kroxigors are just great. They really are. The enemy advance is coming forward. We've already got some of these bleak swords up against the skink cohorts, which need to kind of fall back. And then the Lizardmen advance needs to push forward. I mean, this Lizardmen line looks great. So many brave Lizardmen ready to give their lives to defend their homelands. I think the Lizardmen are going to be one of my factions I definitely do a campaign of at the beginning. Maybe the Lizardmen and the High Elves will be my two factions I play. The right side looks like it's going to be fighting first, and my men have charged down the hill to help out and try and get a nice little downhill charge on these soldiers. However, we are going to be up against some pretty elite soldiers down here, and you can already see their lines are starting to curve around as well. However, my Kroxigors are about to be deployed as they get closer and closer to the enemy line. And they're going to come and charge downhill at these guys. And hope, there we go. Look at them go. Hopefully they'll make their way down to this line and just smash into the Dark Elf soldiers holding me back right here. I'm going to be getting shot, obviously, by a lot of their missiles, but I'm hoping my Kroxigors can do the damage I need them to do. The main lines are erupting on this left-hand side as well. We have some Bleakwood swords up against my Lizardmen. I believe my Temple Guard haven't been engaged yet. There's a few remaining Kroxigors on the first initial Lizardmen force who have retreated back and are now fighting on. These guys are going to be doing a great job at holding up the left flank. We do also have some Cold One Knights up against my Saurus Scarred veterans. This is going to be an important fight. We really do need to try and take out as many of these heavy cavalrymen as possible, as it's going to be so vital we do that. A lot of my pterodactyl riders, is that what or pterodon riders, I apologize, have also caught a unit of 4 Cold One Knights, which they should be able to win that. I'm at least hoping they will be able to win that. One of the things I love about I love about Medieval 2 as well, is so hard to kind of to find out who's going to win the battle until right towards the end. Like, the battle in Medieval 2 can normally go either way. Like, there's never normally a definitive answer of who's going to win until like right towards the end of the battle, because units can rout, units can just keep on holding and not rout, and it's really interesting to see that. Whereas I feel like in the later Total War games, it's pretty obvious who's going to win in a lot of the battles, just kind of, within the first like 10-15 minutes. However, in these battles, they literally go down to the wire, and this battle is no exception. This battle does go down to the wire, very much so. So make sure to stick around to the end to watch that. Oh, there we go. Here are some of the dragons, the dragon riders right here, the black dragons. I can't wait to see the dragons in Warhammer 2 as well. Sorry, I don't mean to keep on comparing like stuff to Warhammer 2, but that's what we're kind of looking forward to. It's going to be great as the black dragons come flying down and attacking these Lizardmen. These guys have a huge amount of HP, so it's going to be hard to take them down. Really, ideally, what we need to do is we need to kill as many of these executioners as possible. And one of the Dark Elf generals, actually, was that an allied general? I'm not actually too sure. I think that was a Dark Elf general. I just saw two, like a Lizardman and a Dark Elf died at the same time. But I'm pretty sure that is one of the Dark Elf generals going down. There is still another one going down as the dragons just go and leave so much hectic damage in their wake right there. So one of the Lizardmen, one of the Dark Elf generals is dead. However, they are a pretty sturdy faction. Even if their generals do die, they will still generally stay and fight. Which is always great to see. We have some more of these swordsmen moving in. Are these like archers? Where have their shields gone? Where are the dark... Oh no, yeah, the dark shards are the missiles. Okay, sorry. Again, I'm just still learning a lot of the names. So Dark Shards will be coming in and cutting down a lot of these skinks. However, getting some of these Kroxigors around the back of these Bleak Swords is going to be amazing. There's no escape for them. The Black Guard are trying to kind of push back the enemy line. However, they're just going to keep on just smashing them away. The Cold Ones are going to come in and try and help out. But again, we're just going to continue to focus them down with our skink archers. And I believe my chameleon skinks as well are just shooting. You can see them shooting with their blowpipes as well, which looks cool. Continue on down this left flank, we can definitely see that it's a very close battle. Bringing over these dragons is a really smart move, because this flank is like, the right flank is looking pretty good for us. However, this left flank could still go either way. So by bringing over these dragons, that really does make it a bit more in the favor of the Dark Elves. So if the Dark Elves can clean up on this flank, they can completely rotate around their forces and use them elsewhere. The Lizardmen, by the looks of it, though, have managed to kind of clean up this left side of the flank, and it's just going to be up to the rest of these soldiers. Balance of power is still extremely even. The Allies have lost 80%, so the Lizardmen have lost 80% of their forces, and the Dark Elves have lost 76% of their forces. So, as I mentioned, a really, really close battle. The Lizardmen are just smashing away on these Dark Elves. The Temple Guard, this is my general right now, I've had to bring up to try and rally some of the soldiers. And I think one of the hardest tasks is just going to be taking out them dragons. Yes, we do have the Croxagors, but the dragons, we don't really have a decent force to deal with them. Maybe I should have stuck my Saurus spears still like left to join the battle and kind of commit them only when I see the dragons. Maybe that would have definitely have helped me out. The Temple Guard, though, are now fighting against some of the assassins moving into their flank. Oh, the assassins just did a backflip! Wow, some of the animation, Medieval 2 still just blows my... Look at that! That is so fucking sick, look at that! That's amazing. Medieval 2 is amazing. These dudes are just backflipping everywhere. That is so sick. Like, the mods in Medieval 2 are just truly spectacular. Like, Total War has the best modding in the world, in any game. I'm very confident in saying that. Some of the stuff they create, like for like the longevity of it as well. Like they've been creating, like Medieval 2 is like what, like 12 years old maybe even longer than that. No, 10 years. Yeah, 10 years anniversary last year, so it's like 10 years old. And the stuff they've managed to make throughout them 10 years is just insane. The dragons are going to be chasing down my general right now, and they're going to be going after my slam priest, who we haven't really seen much of. Unfortunately, the way the map was designed, he doesn't care. Look at him, he's like, whatever. Unfortunately, the way the map was designed, that he just didn't really get many good shots off, which I think definitely did hinder us in this battle. However, I think the Lizardmen still definitely had an advantage to begin with anyway, so that definitely, you know, kind of maybe even things out a little bit, because if he managed to get some more shots off, I think the battle would have been nowhere near this close. The Cauldron of Blood is in the back here, rallying up the Dark Elves. I think the Dark Elves are also, even though losing their general, are still pretty confident in this battle because of the Blood Cauldron as well. Some of the swords are going to be coming flying in. I do have a couple Pterodon riders still left remaining. That one is going to fly away, hopefully causing some havoc in the back of these lines against some of these other soldiers, the assassins. I still can't get over them backflipping. We look on this right flank, we can see the Croxagors are still just going in. I'm excited to see how many kills the Croxagors can rack up in this battle, because it is just insane how good they are. Now, if you gave them, yeah, like I wonder how many, like, an army of Croxagors, I wonder how many Medieval 2, like, Skaven armies they could take on by just charging. Maybe we'll have to do that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see something like that in the future. Also, give me ideas for battles as well, as more Temple Guard turn up to the actual engagement. I really, really want to try and clean up this left flank, because I know my right flank is starting to fail. You can see the remnants of the Dark Elf forces over here, which isn't a lot, but, you know, there's not really a lot left in this battle. You can see these guys moving up, still some Cauldrons of Blood units and some Assassins. These guys are pushing up. The Temple Guard has been cut down by the Black Guard and the Assassins now. So, really, like, there's not really a lot left for the Lizardmen, but there's also not a lot left for the Dark Elves either. Look how cool the Slam Priest looks. It's amazing. That really is really nice. The dragons are still alive as well, which doesn't look good, but we still have plenty of Croxagors. These Croxagors, there's still 8 of them left, and we're very soon about to win this right flank here as well. We obviously also have these Chameleon Riders, or these Chameleon Skinks, and these Skink Archers. The Skink Archers are slowing up the... Oh my god, it's Croxagors coming in! Croxagor charge! We need your help. Look at him go. Yeah, we need to try and do as much HP damage to these dragons as possible. The Black Guard are going to be in quick retort, though, as they just charge in and just penetrate the Lizardmen skin there with like 6 or 7 halberds. That was brutal. You brave Croxagor. You will be remembered. I also have a Pterodon rider here as well, and as we go. So we've managed to finally just about break the enemy on the left flank, and now we have to turn around and get ready to fight the enemy on the right flank. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be trying to reform. I want to try and get up the hill as quickly as possible. The quicker we can get up the hill, the much easier it will be. I think that was my allies' general being slain right there. Or no, that could have been my general being slain there. Actually, I think that was my general being slain. Yeah, I don't know, actually. My general could be over here as well, though. I think my general's, I think that was my allied general being slain. I think my general is still alive in this unit of Lizardmen right here of Temple Guard. Yeah, you can see him right there. There's my general. So my general's still alive. However, my allies' general did finally get taken down. We are doing a good job at actually cleaning up a lot of his Black Guard. The Pterodon Rider coming in the back is going to be helpful. The Croxagoras as well are going to be doing lots of damage to the enemy forces. I'm also trying to protect my flank a little bit here by throwing in my Temple Guard here. Again, look how close this battle is. It could still go either way. If I can cause a mass rout, maybe kill another enemy general, victory could definitely be mine. It's just dealing with them goddamn dragons right now. My Temple Guard are going to be pushing around this right flank, and then they're going to be smashing into the side of these assassins. I really want to try and kill them as quickly as possible. The Pterodon Riders are continuing to be a nuisance in the back. I definitely wish I used these Pterodon Riders a bit more effectively as the dragons come flying in for my general. That is not good. And they land directly on him as well. General, flee! I mean, unless you want to make a name for yourself by killing these dragons, I think you need to run, my good sir. However, it does not look quite as good for him. That dragon just pelting forward. And there we go. My general has been slain, unfortunately. And I think that is going to spell pretty much the end. My men are going to hold off for a couple more minutes, you know, fight to the death, which is, again, something I really like in Medieval 2. Units just don't like rout constantly if, you know, a morale, like a massive mass rout. Like, that can definitely happen. But I feel like the way it's balanced in Medieval 2 is really, really nicely. Like, this battle is probably, like, there's no way for these soldiers to win this battle, but they're still fighting to the death, you know? And that's awesome to see. Yeah, obviously, that might not be, like, historically how battles are fought and stuff like that, but, I mean, we're in Warhammer, for God's sake. And a lot of the times, you know, in some battles, soldiers did fight, you know, bravely. At least give them the option for that to happen. I love how the Croxagors die as well, with their tails just sticking up. So that is going to be the battle. My men fought bravely, but the Dark Elves are going to claim victory. But we definitely caused a lot of casualties for the Dark Elf forces. You know, this raid was not gone undefended. You can see the amount of dead bodies laying on the floor on this side. Let's go ahead and look at it. Whilst the enemy just kind of clean up the rest of the forces before the battle ends, we can see that the huge engagements here. The Skinks got slaughtered on this outside. The Cold One Riders, the Cold One Knights did a brutal job. The Lizardmen did their best job here, but again, the Dark Elves were just too strong at taking them out on this right-hand side. Again, on this line, if it looks at it, there's a lot of dead Lizardmen here. Not too many dead Dark Elves. But again, I think they did a good job against the Courtiers. This far left flank, I think we did a pretty good job. Again, there's still so many dead Lizardmen everywhere. Holy crap. Loads of these scarred veterans as well. We make our way up to see this. This was a pretty bloody fight right here. Especially for the Lizardmen. Maybe the Lizardmen just stand out a lot more. But it looks like there's so many dead Lizardmen compared to the Dark Elves. And there we go. The defeat has occurred right there. And as you can see, the Lizardmen did start off with a lot more soldiers. And they did definitely lose a lot of soldiers as well. There wasn't very much left for them. We just couldn't kill as many. We just couldn't kill as many as we wanted, which was unfortunate. If we look at the kills for the Lizardmen, unfortunately we can't see the kills for the Dark Elves. We can see the kills for Lizardmen. We can see that the top one is my army. We can see that my Slam Priest actually did get 126 kills, which is unfortunate we didn't see some of them. My Sauruses all doing pretty decently. Some of them getting 100 kills. My Croxagors getting 121. Very, very nice. We make our way down to my ally. We can see that his Temple Guard getting 75 kills. You can see the kills on this inflicted tab right here, by the way, if you're kind of a bit clueless. We can continue going around. Some of the Skink Archers actually getting 104 kills, which is nice, and his Croxagors as well getting 113 kills. So very, very impressive. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that battle. If you do want to see more of these scenario battles, as I said, please do let me know by dropping a like and a comment on this video. It really, really does help get the video out there to more people, and it lets me know that this is something you guys want to see more often on the actual channel itself. It's the best way for me to interact with you guys as well. So yeah, let me know if you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.